Alright, I'd said I'd be back, and I am. This time around I'm doing the K-1 event that is on Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday. And there's a couple of recognizable names on the card. Sakuraba returns, which is lovely, and Kharitonov, two of my all-time favorites, so I'm very, very looking forward to this card. And for the record, before people yell at me for drinking out of the bottle, I'm the only one that drinks this. Okay, onwards to the picks. Okay, fight number one, we have Manhoef and Fabio Silva. Both of these guys, very good strikers. Fabio Silva is a shootbox fighter. Solid Muay Thai, but I mean, Manhoef, you don't get many better strikers at 205 than Melvin. So I'm taking Melvin. KO, second round probably. But this is a fight to watch for. It's going to be a good fight. Next we have Dida versus K-1 or K-1. I don't know. I've heard it pronounced both ways, so if you know how I'm supposed to pronounce it, leave it in the comments. I'm taking Dida by split decision just because how often do you see a non-Japanese, how often do you see a guy beat a Japanese fighter and get a unanimous decision in Japan? Not too often. And this will be a great fight, and I think Dida has just too many tools for Uno to take. I think in the end, I mean, he'll get the one judge, but not the others, and he'll lose the split decision. Dida, though, I don't see a way of finishing him, hence why I'm going with the decision. I'm sure he'll try, but I don't see it. Next, we have Kazuyuki Maeda versus Harvey Hara. I'm taking Maeda because, to be honest, Hara's not that good of a fighter. I mean, I've watched him. He's not a terrible fighter, but he's not a terribly great one either. I'm going with a submission for Maeda in the second round. Excuse me. Takanori Sato versus Kenji Nagai. I'm not really excited about this fight. It's kind of, your low point K1 fight. I'm going with Sato. Basically because I think he's the better fighter. He's a much better submission fighter, I think, than Nagai, and he'll get him the submission probably in the third. Waitaro Takahashi versus Teishiro. I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Nishiuchi. I'm going with the judge's decision for Nishiuchi on this one. Don't know a lot about either fighter, to be honest. So, just from what I've seen, which is pretty limited, I think I've seen like one fight of each of them. I just think Nishiuchi will take it by decision. But I don't think he's strong enough to finish it. Zelg Galachis versus Dong Sik Yoon. These are two good fighters, despite what, Yoon's record would say with him being 1-4. But he is an excellent judo guy, and he's quite good. I mean, his losses are top quality. That being said, I think he's going to lose to Zelg, who's like one of the best European middleweights around, and probably going to be strikes, and it's probably going to be quick. I'm going to go first round with a knockout or a TKO. Zelg is a fantastic striker, and I wish the UFC would sign him. They call him Mini Krokop, and I know Krokop kind of bombed in the UFC, but I think Zelg, who's proven himself in cage rage, would be a hell of a pickup. Next, we have Ikuhushi Minowa. I'm taking him by tap out over Kevin Casey, even though Kevin is a strong ground fighter. He's a student of Rickson Gracie, or was. I don't know if he still is, because I've heard Rickson doesn't teach anymore. But was. I'm taking Minowa just because I think Minowa is a better submission fighter, and I don't think either guy has particularly great stand-up. So taking Minowa submission. I'll go third round. Next up we have Kid Yamamoto versus Bibiano Fernandez, who I've seen fight and I actually like as a fighter, but I think he's going to get destroyed by Yamamoto, probably second round knockout. I mean, Yamamoto is the man at 145, that's for sure, if he would stay and fight at 145. But anyways, he's just too much for Fernandez. Next up, we have another good fight, and that is Shaolin Ribeiro versus Jay-Z Calvasanti. I'm taking JZ, and people may not like it, but I think he wins a decision over Shaolin. I think his style just matches up very well with Shaolin, who is an excellent BJJ guy, but I don't see him submitting JZ. And JZ's wrestling, I think, is enough to keep the fight on the feet for the most part. And that's where JZ's advantage is. He's a much better striker than Shaolin is. Would not surprise me to see Shaolin pull off a submission for the record, but I don't see it happening as the likely conclusion. JZ by decision, probably unanimous. Next we have finally Kazushi Sakuraba versus Katsuyori Shibata, who's actually a pretty good fighter, but we're talking about Sakuraba here, and when Sakuraba was fighting in his weight class, not really inclined to pick against him. So I'm taking Sakuraba by submission in the first. He's still a great fighter, but he should have retired so long ago, especially after the Smirnovas fight. That was ugly. It was just disgusting in many ways. And I'm a big proponent of let the fighter try to defend himself, but that went on for far too long. And finally, with the main event, which is the rematch from the, I think it was in Pride, I could be wrong, but Alistair Overeem, the Demolition Man from Holland, against Russian top team Sergey Kharitonov. Now, Sergey has been training with Crow Cop. I think this is going to have nothing but good effects on his striking. I'm taking Kharitonov to avenge his loss that came due to a shoulder injury to Overeem. Second round with a TKO or a KO, and I say this because Overeem will gas. Overeem is a fantastic striker, but his cardio is nowhere near what it should be. By the second round, he'll be tired, and that'll be right for the pickings for Sergey. So Sergey Kharitonov, KO or TKO, second round. So that does it for my picks. Usual, comment, rate, subscribe. Don't flame or else I'll delete it and you're wasting my time and yours, same as spam. So have a good one.